The role of the Research Ethics Office is to help you improve the quality of your research by advising you on good ethical practice and facilitating your application for ethical approval. As a King's researcher, you have a moral responsibility to protect research participants from harm. Therefore, you need to think about potential risks to your participants and how to mitigate them. Ethics isn't just about the participants. It also protects you as a researcher and ensures that you are covered by insurance if anything goes wrong. Increasingly, researchers need ethics to get funding, and publishers also like to see evidence of ethical approval. I will emphasise, though, that research ethics is a mandatory requirement of the university, and the appropriate approval must be obtained before data collection commences. The purpose of the ethical approval process is to protect the interests of you and your participants.
We're often asked what needs ethical approval. Basically, anything that is research and involves human participants. The obvious things are primary data collection, such as interviews or surveys or focus groups. Less obvious might be observing people in a public place. You'll also need ethics if you're planning to take samples or administer food or other substances. Some researchers do what we call secondary data analysis. This might involve analysing data already out there in the public domain. For example, newspaper or journal articles or even tweets. You won't need ethics for this. However, you might need ethics if you're analysing data that is not in the public domain. This will depend on if the data is classed as sensitive or whether individuals are identifiable. An example might be interview transcripts from another research study. If in doubt, just ask one of us in the research ethics team.
There is one principle that is fundamental to ethical research, and that is informed consent. Basically, your participants should know what they're signing up for. If you get this right at the stage of your application, you'll find everything else will come together. For participants to give informed consent, there are a few things they need to know. They need to know what the purpose of the study is. They need to know how they're going to be contributing to it. Are they going to be taking part in interviews or surveys or filling out a questionnaire? And they should know the type of question they're going to be asked. You should advise your participants of any potential risks involved in participation. And crucially, they should know how you're going to use their data. Is it going to be contributing towards a King's degree, or are you going to be publishing an academic journal article or using it for a conference paper? And in relation to that, you should clarify whether or not they are going to be identifiable in any final report or anonymous. For the most part, you will issue participants with an information sheet and consent form, and the Research Ethics Office has templates for these.
We can advise you on all aspects of your ethics application. Our web pages are plenty of very useful information, and should you have any specific questions, we would encourage you to contact us directly. If you're a student, your supervisor will also be on hand to help you and will authorise the submission of your application. All applications for ethical approval are submitted through REMAS, our online application system. Once ethical approval is granted, you can begin your research. If you have any questions at all, please get in touch.